All right, with Mike Moor of Wrestling Mindset up here at the MWA Clinic. And I know you go around the country to a lot of these, state coaches clinics. What have you seen this weekend that kind of stands out in Michigan, and how does Michigan's clinic compare to the other states you've been to?
For sure. So this will be the third time that I'm here. What I've noticed every year it's grown, and it's grown exponentially. And not only has the numbers grown, but I would say the quality and the product delivered has grown each year. Even the setup this year was different. It was more conducive to everybody learning. This year, the numbers exponentially grew. So compared to the rest of the country, I would say outside of Ohio, which is where I was just before this, this is the biggest coaches clinic that I've been to in the country. I would say I would argue that this may even be bigger than the one that was at Ohio State. So super impressed, like I said, with the growth. It's a testament to how dedicated I think the culture of growing wrestling is in Michigan. I was really impressed last year when I surprised some of my teams for Team State. I stayed for My Way duels the next day, and I got to watch thousands of kids compete in the dual meet championship. And again, I think it goes back to the culture. I think Michigan has a culture of growth, has a culture of a growth mindset into getting better at wrestling. There's hundreds of coaches here hungry, getting better. So I think that's something that's really unique. These aren't people showing up because they feel obligated. Everybody here wants to get better.
Yeah, that was actually my next question. Having been around these programs in Michigan for, a year or 2 years, and just kind of getting to see what we have going on in the state here, and how you kind of, what things you think we do well, what things, but I think you probably hit it there with that culture part.
For sure. I just see this as a state more than I think a lot of the other states that I've been to. Maybe close one that I've been to is Ohio, where coaches are hungry to get better. Obviously it's very competitive. So if you're not improvising, adapting, and evolving, you're going to lose to somebody who is. Now, I can't take credit for that quote. I stole it from Kill Sanderson, but that's the reality. And to have these coaches that I see them at other places in the country, at other camps and other clinics, trying to learn and get better. And I think that's a testament to what Michigan is. And I think, like I said, the youth is amazing here. And I'm sure it's amazing in other states. I haven't seen or felt what I felt in My Way State really replicated in other places as well as that.
So you've worked with several Michigan teams, I think DCC, Dundee, Clinton, I'm sure a bunch of other ones, but teams that are doing well. What do you do with the teams throughout the season? What types of things are you hitting on? How are there measurable things that you can do with kids, and
sure,
just how does what you do mesh with high school teams?
Sure. So we some of the other teams that we've worked with, Heartland, Central Michigan. This year will be the first year we worked with Michigan State. Previously worked with the University of Michigan, and a handful of other teams throughout the state of Michigan. And really, what we do is we bring in a system and a curriculum to actually teach and train the mindset of wrestling. It's wrestling specific, so they understand the lingo, and it's directed to obviously the mental part of wrestling. So it's broken down into different topics like self-knowledge, confidence, relaxing under pressure, aggressiveness, present moment, mental toughness, and a couple of others. And essentially we deliver the mindset training in a wrestling specific fashion and give them coping skills and tools to be able to use on and off the mat. So this isn't just a talk, it's not motivational speech, it's actually something where we deliver a training. I remind kids, this isn't a motivational speech. Yes, you'll be fired up by the time that you leave, but more than anything, we're getting better at wrestling today. And you're going to get better, like everything else with wrestling. Wrestling allows you to be better the rest of your life. So, utilizing our worksheets and the interactive approach that we have through live video Skype with our teams, we're able to implement these lessons in a much more effective fashion. Essentially, we teach how they learn. And good coaches talk about mindset all the time, but you only retain 5% of what you hear. So we have them do exercises. So that's a 75% retention rate if you're going by science. So that's why what we do works, and why we work with the Olympic teams, tons of teams in Michigan. Like I said, in a growth culture, Michigan is very accepting of what we do because we're so hungry to get better in a very competitive environment.
What can coaches do to work on that mindset? I know that is what you guys do.
Sure.
But what types of things do you talk about? Are you talking about pre-match routine? Are you talking about going through the season? Is it peaking towards the end of the year. Are you talking about all that stuff throughout your system?
Yeah, all the above. What's cool is that it's systematic, so it builds upon itself. So depending on how many workshops you do, you start at a foundational level, and then you start getting into peak performance type topics. At a foundational level, it's pre-match routines. It's the thoughts and feelings that bring out your best and worst. It's foundational layers of confidence and being able to relax under pressure. Then you start getting into, peak performance things, like reset buttons, like when it comes to confidence, understanding the difference between confidence and cockiness, understanding, how to have toughness role models, not just, these foundational layers of things, but getting them to think and be mindful at a higher level, just like wrestling, right? There's good, better, and best. There's beginner, novice. There's beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and we have the same sort of process. And as they go through the curriculum, let's take all these topics, right? There's self-knowledge, week 1 through 10, confidence, week 1 through 9. The deeper that you go into it, right, the more advanced, I won't say advanced, but the more detailed the lessons that you're receiving. So lay the foundation. It's just like technique, right? Stance, motion, head position before you even take a shot. And that's how we build the process systematically.
Appreciate you being here. I've obviously heard good things from the programs within the state. Where can people get in touch with you? And I guess how can people contact you?
Easiest way, people can follow us on social media, Wrestling Mindset. You can follow me, Mindset Mike. That's exactly what our handles are. Find us there. You can send us a message through there. We have a website, wrestlingmindset.com. We work with we're sports specific in numerous other sports as well. So you can look at zwinningmindset.com. But if you want to get in touch with us, like I said, social media is a very easy way. You can contact us through there, set up a team evaluation, an individual evaluation, and we love what we do. We have over 75 coaches on staff throughout the country, and this is something that we're very passionate about, and we look forward to talking to more and more of you in Michigan and obviously throughout the country. So to plug you guys as well, I think I said something last night is, I'm very plugged into the sport of wrestling, and I think, Grappler does as good, if not one of the best jobs of coverage of any state's wrestling that I've ever seen. And I was super impressed at how detailed you guys get. You make being a fan really enjoyable and go above and beyond what I think is necessary. And like I said, you make being a fan enjoyable. So I appreciate what you guys do too.
Hey, I appreciate that. And again, appreciate you being in Michigan.
Yeah, thank you.